Very good morning to all. Dear students, today we are going to discuss Robert Browning's poem, The Last Ride Together, Part 3rd. The first two parts we have already discussed in the previous lectures. As I told you in the beginning that this poem is in the form of a dramatic monologue. This poem depicts a final ride of a dismissed lover with his beloved. Though the lover has been failed in his love attempts by his beloved, still he is not disappointed. He asks, or rather requests, the beloved for a last ride together. The mistress affirms this, and he is very much happy. He rides with his beloved. The lover compares his lot with that of a statesman or a soldier and says that, with all respect to them, his riding with his beloved is a better reward than a few lines which are inscribed on the memorial of a statesman, or than a flag which is planted on the grave of a dead soldier. These can never be sufficient reward for the sacrifice they make for the sake of their country. But the lover, though he has failed in his love attempts, still is rewarded with a last ride together with his beloved. So here we go to the next stanza. What does it all mean, poet? Well, your brains beat into rhythm. You tell what you felt only. You expressed, you hold things beautiful the best, and paste them in rhyme so, side by side. It is something needs much, but then, have you yourself what is best for men? Are you poor, sick, old before your time? Near of one wit, your own sublime. Then, we, who never have turned a rhyme, sing, riding is a joy, for me, I write. So here he is comparing his lot with that of a poet. He questions the poet. He interrogates him. He says, what does it all mean, poet? He is questioning the poet. He is saying that what is your work? You are always dealing with an imaginary concept. What does it all mean, poet? Well, your brains beat into rhythm. You tell what we felt only. You imagine about the things which we have already experienced and felt. You give it a rhythmical or musical voice. You express our feelings, our passions in your own words. But that is not your own feeling. You expressed, you hold things beautiful the best. Whatever is beautiful, that is your ideal. You express your ideas about beauty in the best possible way while adding rhythm, rhyme to the verse, to the poetical form, and paste them in rhyme so, side by side. You write poems in a rhymed couplets on things of beauty, because there is a notable kinship between beauty and truth. Have you yourself what is best for men? Have you ever realized your dream of beauty, your ideal? We human beings always experience it. We have the first hand experience. It is something, nay, it's much. But then, have you yourself what is best for men? Are you poor, sick, old before your time? Here refers to before. He's saying that there are so many poets who suffer with so many illnesses. They are most of the time poor because they are hardly getting any substances. They are sick and they become old before their time. They have to face so many difficulties and sufferings nearer one bit your own sublime. Wit here refers to a smallest part, a bit you can say, your own sublime, your own ideal of the beautiful and the truthful things, the good things. Nearer one bit your own sublime. You are never experiencing, you are never having a little experience of your own ideals. Then we, who never have turned a rhyme. Then if we talk about ourselves, the human beings, the general human beings who are not the poets, we have never written a poem. Still, we can experience the things in a better form. Sing writing is a joy. He says then that when we are writing, we are singing as well. We are singing the joy about the joyful life we have spent with each other. And we are writing, my beloved is by my side. I am very much happy at this moment. For me, I write. I am actually experiencing and feeling what you write about. I am having the bliss of enjoying the ride with my beloved. So let me paraphrase it for you. The poet now thinks of the poet's work. He asks an imaginary poet what all his poetry means. What is the meaning of his poetry? He thinks that the lot of the poet who loves beauty in everything is no better. He realizes the sublime ideals of which he sings. The lover says that the poet can express in rhythmic language what we ordinary people, human beings, are unable to express. The poet considers beautiful things to be the best, and he can construct melodious lines of poetry. His work is of some value or more value, but it is, after all, the petty thing, because he is never realizing this grand and beautiful ideal in real life. The poet is as far from realizing his sublime ideal as ordinary human beings are. So, the lover sings like Keats that riding with one's lady love is a joy forever. Let me tell you that Keats has written a poem in which he expresses that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So here he's saying that he has enjoyed this beautiful ride with his beloved that he will cherish in his heart forever and ever. So let me come to the next stanza. And you, great sculptor, so you gave a score of years to art, her slave, and that is your Venus. Whence we turn to yonder girl that forts the burn. You acquiesce, and shall I repine? What, man of music, you grown grey, with notes and nothing else to say. Is this your sole praise for a friend? Greatly his operage strains intent. But in music, we know how fashions end. I gave my youth, but we write in fine. So here, in these lines, he is comparing his lot with that of a sculptor and that of a musician. He says, and you, great sculptor, so you gave. Gave here refers to you have devoted. Here he is interrogating a sculptor and he says that you have spent so many years of yours, a score of years. A score of years means almost 20 years of your life to art. You have devoted almost 20 years of your life to art, her slave. You are a devotee and slave of art. And that is your Venus. Venus actually is the goddess of beauty and love. And here the writer is, here the lover is saying that the sculptor is the devotee of Venus. He has finished after 20 years of devoted labor the statue of the goddess Venus. Whence we turn to yonder girl that fords the burn. Whence from which turn from the statue to look at it. Yonder over there. Fords the burn, crosses the stream at the ford. The girl's living beauty is superior to the beauty of the sculptor's stone statue. He's saying that whatever beautiful things you make the statue about, we in reality, the human beings, I the lover, is experiencing that beauty with my beloved. My beloved is far much beautiful than Venus herself. You accuse, and shall I repine? The sculptor is content to have his Venus such a poor imitation of living beauty. Repine, to feel contented or satisfied. Sorry, to repine means to envy or to murmur. You accuse, and shall I repine? You are satisfied with your ideal of beauty while creating a statue of Venus, but I am not satisfied with this idea. Shall I repine? I feel sorry for you because you are not able to enjoy the beauty. What man of music, you've grown grey with notes and nothing else to say. Here again, he is interrogating a musician. He says, what man of music? You are a man of music. You compose music. You've grown grey with notes and nothing else to say. You have grown old while composing music, which consists of notes. This is your only task you can do. With notes and nothing else to say, you cannot sing anything. You cannot say anything else than in the musical form. Is this your sole praise from a friend? Soul means complete, only. Greatly his operas strains intent, but in music we know how fashions end. Greatly his operas strains intent, there is deep and great meaning in his songs, but in music also, fashions frequently change. I gave my youth, but we write in fine. You can question me now, because I have been a very devoted lover during my young years. I have pursued my love, but I failed. You can question me. You have also failed. But that is fine, because after all, I have some reward, as we are having this last ride together, which is a partial fulfillment of my ideal. So here, he is thinking in these lines that he is far much in a better situation than that of a sculptor and that of a musician. He says, addressing the sculptor, that he has given his 20 precious years to the learning of art, and he has worked like a slave very devotedly, but in the end he has succeeded in only making a statue of Venus. This statue is hardly more beautiful than the yonder blooming village girl that is crossing the small stream on foot. As he seems to be content with this partial success, the lover thinks that he too has no cause to complain. His lot is no worse. The lover then thinks of the lot of the musician and compares it with that of the lover. He says that the musician has grown old in composing music. That has been his sole vocation or profession in life, his only message and gift to the world. But even the musician's own friends give him half-hearted and doubtful praise. For they say that although the music of his opera has a high aim, yet fashions in music change frequently. It it means that the music that was popular at a time cannot be popular at the another time. It might change. So the musician has also not been able to fully realize his dream like that of the lover. The lover has spent his youth in trying to realize his ideal of a love. But in the end, he has failed. Though the lover has achieved partial success in the end, he is riding together with his beloved in the end. Thank you all. The remaining part we will discuss in the next lecture.